Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Juan Carlos Monsalve. Thank you for watching my videos, and we are going to play a new shoe of Baccarat today. Today is October 30th, 2023. The time of this recording is 10:28 a.m. I will be posting this video today by 4 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern Time here in the US. Please, if you want to access the scorecards of the games that we have played so far, please visit my website, juancarlosmonsalve.com. If you want to support my channel, you can do that at buymeacoffee.com /Juan Carlos Monsalve. The name of the game is Baccarat. Please give it a thumbs up to this video. Subscribe to my channel. Ring the bell so you get notified every time that I upload a new video. Share this video in your personal social media, family and friends, and observe. You can sit back and observe what it happens when I'm playing, and I'm entering the information vertically here on the left side for player or banker, and the winner is going to show on this column. Sometimes it's going to be player, banker, or tie. And on the right side, you see the different scorecards that I keep that populate automatically when I'm entering the information here. Every two hands, every three, four, five, six, all the way to 11. That is including ties. At one point, when I started playing this game, somebody told me you don't use ties when you keep track of those scorecards. So I didn't do it. So I use no ties, but I never test that information. Is that true or not? So this time that I'm starting a new set of games or shoes, I will be removing the ties, and I will get a second set of scorecards, but without ties. That's the way that I always did it. So this time I'm gonna see if that statement is true or not. I only have played 17. Well, I have more games that I play without recording the beginning of the games of this session. But I have the scorecards, about four more scorecards that I include in my new study. You can do your own studies. You can come up with the new strategies, test the strategies that you have yourself, and create new ones. If you think that you need more strategies, do that. Um, I hope you enjoy this game as much as I do. I've been studying this game for a long time, and I want to share more information with you of what I have found out so far. So the first thing that we do when we start a new tune, the same as in the casinos, we burn one card. In this case, it's a king of clubs. So the first card we enter it here, king of clubs, and the date today is 10/30th, 2023. October 30th, 2023. So we need to burn 10 more cards. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. For a total of 11 cards that we burn on this shoe. Then we start with the first hand. And the first hand is first card player, banker, player, banker. I have seven banker and stands. Player gets a third card, and the third card is a five. So first hand is a banker hand, 5, 7. Okay. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, Banker now have the player 7 and stands, and banker has a 0 and gets a third card, and the third card is a 5. So 7 5. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have a player 6 and stands, and banker gets a third card, and the third card is a 3 for a total of 5. 6 5. That was another player hand. Um, Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have 7 player and stands. Banker has 6 and stands, so another player hand 7 6. On top you see the scores. Player 3, bankers 1, total of hands 4. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now we have a natural 8 player and 2 banker. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have 6 player and stands. Banker has a 3 and gets a third card, and the third card is a 5. So 6 player, 5 banker. Now we have 5 players, 1 banker, no ties. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have a 7 player and stands. Banker gets a third card, and the third card is a 0. So this is a 7 player for banker. We have 5. We have 6 players in a row. Um, Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now we have a 3 player and 0 banker. We get a third card for both of them. The 3 player remains at 3, and banker gets a third card. It's a 4, so 3 4. This one was a banker hand. First card player, banker, player, banker. Now we have a natural 9 player and 0 banker. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have a banker 6, player 4. Player gets a third card, and third card is a 0, so player remains 4, and banker doesn't get any more cards since we got a 0 as a player third card. So it is 4 6 banker hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. We have 0 player, 1 banker. We get a third card for both of them. Player goes to 3, and banker gets a 6 for a total of 7. 3 7. This is a banker hand. We have 7 players for bankers, no ties, for a total of 11 hands. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now we have a 7 banker and stands. So a player has a 4 and gets a third card, and the third card is a 0. So 4 player and 7 banker. That's another banking hand. We have 7 players, 5 bankers. Total for hands 12. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. And now we have a natural 8 banker, and player has a 1. We have a natural 8 or 9. We don't get any more cards for either side. The natural 8 or 9. The highest is 9, natural 9. When we get 3 cards on either side, the closest one to 9 is the winner of the hand. We have 0 player, 5 banker. The third card for player is a 9, so player goes to 9 and 5. We don't get any more cards. We only get a third card for banker if we get anything from 4 to 7 because we have a 9 player third card. We don't get any more cards for our banker, so this is a player hand. Total of hands 8. Excuse me, 8 players, 6 bankers. No ties. Total of hands 14. Now we have a natural 9 player and stands and 7 banker. That was another player hand. 9 7. Next hand. First card player, banker, player, banker. Now we have a 6 player and a stand, 6 banker and a stand. So now this is the first tie of the shoe. There are 3 different outcomes on any hand. We can have a player, a banker, or a tie. If you are betting on either side of player or banker, you have like a 50% of chances of winning. If you say that the banker has a small, very tiny advantage over player, but if you play player or banker and it's a tie, you don't lose your bet. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. We have a 0 player and 1 banker. We get a third card for both of them. Now player goes to 7 and banker, the third card is a 2 for a total of 3. 7 3. That was another player hand. Next hand, uh, next hand is first card player, banker, player, banker. I have a 1 player, 0 banker. 1 plus 8. Player goes to 9 and banker gets a third card and the third card is an 8. 9 8. The closer 1 to 9 is the winner. In this case is 9 8. Player hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have 7 banker and a stance. Player has a 5 and gets a third card, and the third card is a 1 for a total of 6. 6 7. That was a banker hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has 2, banker has 0. The third card for player is a 6. So 2 plus 6 is 8. And banker gets a third card, and the third card is an 8. So 2 plus 6, 8. And banker gets an 8 as well. So this is another tie. So total of hands 20, 11 players, 7 bankers, 2 ties. If you look at the right side of the screen, you see how the different scorecards populate with this information. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now is a 2 player and natural 9 banker. So no more cards are dealt. That was a banker hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have 0 player, 0 banker. I need a third card for both of them. Player goes to 1 and banker gets a third card as well, and it's a 4. So 1 4. That was a banker hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have a player 6 and a stance, and banker has a 1 and gets a third card, and the third card is a 9 for a total of 0. 9 plus 1, 10. So 10, the last digit is the one that counts, and in this case it's a 0. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. We have player 7 and a stance. Player stands with 6 or 7. and banker has 1, and the third card is a 0, so it remains at 1, so it's another player hand. We have 13 players, 9 bankers. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have 1 player for banker. I need a third card for player, and it's a 0. So the 1 player remains at 1, and because we have a 0 third card for player, we don't get any more cards for banker, so it remains at 4. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now we have a 6 player and national 9 banker. 6, 9. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have a 2 player and 0 banker. 2 plus 4, 6 player, and banker gets a third card, and the third card is another 0, so he remains at 0. 6, 0 player hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have a 0 player and 6 banker, and the third card for player is a 0. So player remains at 0, and because we have a 0 player third card, we don't get any more cards for banker. So we keep the 6 banker. So 0, 6. That was a banker hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have a 4 player and 3 banker. Player gets a third card and it's a 0. So it remains at 4, and because we got a 0, we need a third card for banker, and the third card is an 8 for a total of 1. 4, 1, that was a player hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker, player 4, banker 5. Player third card is a 4, is a 0, so it remains at 4, and banker doesn't get any more cards since we had a 0 player third card. So that was a banker hand, 4, 5. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. We have a 7 player and a stand, and 6 banker and a stand. So that was a player hand, 7, 6. For the last 5 hands or 6 hands, it has been chop chop. Started with a banker player, banker player, banker player. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. We have a 6 player and a stance, and banker has a 5 and gets a third card. The third card is a 6. So 5 plus 6 equals 1. So no more cards. No. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. We have a 2 player, 1 banker. The 2 player plus 7 is equal 9 player, and banker gets a third card, and the third card is a 6 for a total of 7. So 9, 7. That's another player hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have a natural 9 player and 5 banker. So 9, 5. We have 4 players in a row. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now we have a natural 8 player, but we have a natural 9 banker, so natural 9 is higher, and banker won that hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now I have a 7 player and a stance, and banker gets a third card, and the third card is an 8. So 7, 8, banker hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have a 5 player, 0 banker. Player gets a third card and it's a 5. And banker gets a third card and it's an 8. So player 0, banker 8. Okay, next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have banker 7 and it stands. Player has a 3 and gets a third card, and the third card is a 9. So these 3 get reduced to 2, and banker remains at 7. That was a banker hand, 2, 7. Now we have 19 players, 17 bankers, 2 ties for a total of 38 hands. First card player, first card banker, second card player, second card banker. Now we have a natural 8 banker and 5 player. Okay, next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now we have a 3 player, 0 banker. We need a third card for both of them. Player gets a 1 for a total of 4. And banker third card is a 5. So 4, 5. That was another banker hand. We have 6 bankers in a row right now. And we tie here 19 players, 19 bankers, and 2 ties for a total of 40 hands. Next hand, 6 players, and it stands. Banker has 5 and gets a third card, and the third card is a 0. So 6 player, 5 banker. The next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now we have a natural 8 player and 3 banker. When we have a natural 8 or 9, we don't get any more cards for either side. When you are playing at the casino, when you win with a banker, you pay a commission, usually 5%. There are some variations of the game that you can play on a non-commission table. You may have to pay commission through different plays like Super Six. You only get paid 50% of your bet when you win with a banker. In a six, six is a Super Six. You get only pay half. Or in Dragon Seven, I think that is called, when you get seven with 3 cards. It's a push. It's a tie between the player and the casino. There are some other variations. I don't know if there are any more variations. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker, 0 player, 1 banker. The third card for player is an 8. And because we only have 1 banker, we get a third card. And the third card is a 5. So 8 player and 6 banker. That was another player hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. We have 5 players, 0 banker. We get a third card for both of them. So the 5 player remains and the 0 banker, and the third card is a 2. So it goes up to 2, but the player has 5. 5, 2. That was another player hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Have a 5 player, 4 banker, and the third card for player, and the third card is a 1 for a total of 6. And we don't get any more cards for banker. We only get a third card for banker if the third card for player is from 2 to 7. So no more cards. So 6, 4. That was another player hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, Banker, I have 5 players, 0 banker. Player gets a third card and it's a 6. So it lowers that 5 to 1. 6 plus 5, 11. Only the last digit counts. So banker gets a third card and the third card is a 6. So 1, 6. That was a banker hand. 23 players, 21 bankers, 2 ties. Total of hands 46. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. We have one player and one banker. Both of them get a third card. The third card is a 2, 4 player plus 1 equals 3. And banker third card is an 8 plus 1, total of 9. So 3, 9, that was a banker hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker, 0 player, 0 banker. Banker third card is a 6. And banker third card is a 9. So 6 and 9. That was a banker hand. Okay, next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. The player has a 6 and it stands. And banker gets a third card, and the third card is a 9. So he reduces that 5 to 4. 9 plus 5, 14. Only the last digit counts. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now we have a natural 8 player and 4 banker. Another player hand, total of hands, total of players 25, bankers 23. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have a 0 player, 5 banker. The third card for player is a 5. And because the banker has a 5, we get a third card for banker. We get the player third card between 4 to 7. We have a 5, so we need to get a third card for banker, and it's a 3. So it is a 5 player and 8 banker. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have a 6 banker and 3 player. The third card for player is a 3. Because we have a 0 player third card, we don't get any more cards for this banker that has a 6. So 3, 6, that was a banker hand. We are already, also tied again. Players 25, bankers 25. Next hand, first card player, first card banker, second card player, second card banker. I have a 3 and 1, 3 player, 1 banker. Both of them gets a third card. This 3 goes to 7 player and banker. Third card is a 0, so it remains at 1, 7, 1. If you look on the right side, the scorecards every 9. It has the first row has been 6 bankers in a row, the same as on row number 3. We have 5 bankers in a row. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now we have a 2 player and 4 banker. The third card for player is a 3 for a total of 9. 9 player and banker has a 4, and we get a third card. We get a player third card anything from 2 to 7. We got a 7, so we get a third card for banker, and it's a 0. So 9, 4. That was a player hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now we have a natural 9 player, and banker we have a 0. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have a player 4, banker 0. and we get a third card for both of them. Third card for player is a 9, so it reduces that 4 to 3. And banker has a 0 and gets a third card, and the third card is a 7. So 3, 7, that was a bank. Okay, we're playing hand number 57. First card for player, banker, player, banker. We have 0 player, 2 banker. Third card for player is a 6. And the third card for banker is an 8 for a total of 0. So player 6, banker 0. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Banker has a 7 and stands, and player also has a 6 and stands. 6 player, 7 banker. No more hand for no more card for either side. So that was a banker hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now we have a natural 8 player, and banker has a 6. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. We have a 0 player, 1 banker. We need a third card for both of them. Player goes to 8, and banker has a 7, so 1 plus 7, 8. So 8 player, 8 banker. That's another tie for this two. 8, 8. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now we have a 7 banker and a stance. Player has a 4 and gets a third card, and the third card is a 0. So player remains at 4 and banker 7. There was another banker hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Have a 1 player, 2 banker. Both of them get a third card. The player goes to 0, and banker gets a third card, and it's a 0 for a total of 2. 0, 2, that was the banker hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. We have a natural 9 banker. Player has a 2. So 2, 9, that was a banker hand. Now we have again the 30 players, 30 bankers. 3 ties for a total of 63 hands on this shoe. First, now we have a player 3 and banker 7. Player gets a third card, and the third card is a 5 for a total of 8. And we don't get any more cards for bankers, so 8 players, 7 bankers. That was a player hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Have a player 4, banker 2. Both of them get a third card. The third card for player is a 5 for a total of 9. And banker has a 2, and the third card is a 1 for a total of 3. So 9, 3. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. We have a 0 player and 3 banker. Both player gets a third card, and it's a 3. So um, so right now is player 3, and banker has a 3. We get a third card for banker, and the third card is a 9. So this 3 goes down to 2. It reduces. 3 plus 9, 2. So that was a player hand, 3, 2. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now we have a natural 8 player, 0 banker. A natural is an automatic winner. The closer to 9 wins the hand. The first card player, banker, player, banker. Now we have a 6 player and natural 8 banker. So that was a banker hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have a 1 player, 3 banker. The third card for player is an 8. So this 1 plus 8 goes to 9 because we have a player. Third card is an 8 and we have a 3 banker. We don't get any more cards for banker. So it remains at 3. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. We have player 6 and stands, banker 0 and gets a third card, and the third card is a 2. So player 6, banker 2. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. We have player 4, banker 0. The third card for player is a 6 for a total of 0. And banker gets a third card, and the third card is a 9. So 0, 9. That was a banker hand. We have a total of 71 hands so far, 36 players, 32 bankers, 3 ties, total of 71. Next hand, first card player. We have the cut card, so we will play this one plus one more. Next hand, next card, first card, second card, first card banker, second card player, second card banker, and this is a 3 player and natural 9 banker. So we're going to play the last hand of the shoe. First card player, banker, player, banker. We have a 3 player, 1 banker. Both of them gets a third card. The third card for player is a 3 for a total of 6. And banker has a 1 and the third card is a 3 for a total of 7 plus 4, 1 plus 3 is a total of 4. So last hand is a player hand, 6, 4. This is the end of the shoe. Um, I will remove the remaining of the shoe. Place this information, this shoe here, with the cut card, and remove it so we can see the whole screen. I save this information so in case anything happens, I don't lose the scorecards or the spreadsheet. Um, on this show, we only play 73 hands. Usually it's between 75 to 80 or 81 hands. It depends on how many cards we burn at the beginning and also how many naturals we get in there um, um, within the shoe. So we will go over the different scorecards. We have the 1 to 11. I see here 4 players in a row, 4 players in a row, 3 bankers in a row, 3 bankers in a row, 3 players in a row, 3 bankers, 4 bankers in a row, 3 players in a row. That's every 11. Every 10, I see here 3 players. I see here 5 bankers. One more banker here, and separation with 1 player. 4 players. I see on this row number 4. I see 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players in a row. 4 players in a row. 4 bankers. Plus 2 more bankers here, separated with 1 player. I see here every 9, 3, 6 bankers in a row, followed by 3 players in a row. I see here 5 bankers. Row number 5, I see 3, 6, 7 players in a row. Every 8, I see row number 6 has 4 bankers in a row. Row number 7, 4 players in a row. Row number 8, 3 bankers in a row. Row number 1, 3, 6 players in a row. Every seven, I see four bankers in a row. Um, Row number five has three bankers in a row. Row number one has four players in a row. Every six is have four bankers in a row, four bankers in a row here, three bankers in a row, three players in a row, three players in a row here. Every five, I see four bankers in a row here, three players in a row, five players in a row, four players in a row here. Every four, I see three bankers in a row, three bankers in a row, three bankers in a row, five players in a row, three players in a row here. Every three, I see three players in a row here, four bankers in a row, three bankers in a row, um, four players in a row here. Every two, I see four players in a row, three players in a row here, four bankers in a row here, four players in a row, three bankers in a row, three players in a row, four players in a row. This is for including ties. What I started doing in my previous video is to remove the ties and do a new set of scorecards. So what I do, I copy this information here, the results of the shoe, and I come here to this area, the second set of shoes. I copy and paste, but I paste the values. I don't paste the formulas. I just need the values. I need to remove three ties from here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove the split that I have here, and I go down and I do a new split here, so I have access to the information. I add the split here again. So I see here that all this information shows zero information because I don't have anything here on this column. So I go and look for the ties that I have and I remove it. In this case, it's only three ties. So in some shoes, it has been, I think that the highest has been 11 ties in one shoe. So I remove this one, I move the cells up. It takes a little bit of time to process that request. I did that. I removed the second tie. I move the cells up again. And I look for the third and last delete. Move the cells up. Now I don't have any more ties here. Now that I removed the ties, I'm going to add these to the column so I can add that information to the new scorecards or to the scorecards. So now you see on the right side the new scorecards are filled with information, but this one don't have any ties. This one we see here, it says no ties. So with no ties, let me see, every two, I see here four players in a row, three bankers in a row, four players in a row, three players in a row here, three bankers, four, three bankers in a row, four bankers in a row, four players in a row here, three players in a row here. This is every two. Now four players, four bankers, three players. This is every two, every three. I have four players in a row here, three bankers here, three players here, three bankers here. Every four, I see four players in a row here, three players in a row. Here, five players in a row, four bankers in a row, three bankers in a row here, three players in a row. And every five, this is every four, two, four, yeah, two, four, five. Every five, I see four bankers here, four bankers here, three players here. Here I see six players, four players in a row, seven bankers in a row, and that's every five. Every six, I see three bankers here, five players, three players, four bankers, plus two more bankers with one player here and one more player here for an additional banker here. That's every six. Every seven, three players, four players here, five bankers, three players here. Every eight, I see four bankers here. I see five bankers here, four players here, five players here. And every nine, I see six bankers here, three bankers, three bankers, three bankers, three bankers, four players, three players, six players here. Every 10, I see five players, and here another five players, three bankers, four bankers, three players, three players, three players, four bankers, two bankers here, one player, and three more bankers. And every 11, I see six bankers here, four bankers, three players, three players, three bankers, four players, three players. Those are the different, the 11 scorecards that are automatically populate there with the information. Removing the ties. This is the new addition that I did to this spreadsheet. What I do with this spreadsheet, that I upload the spreadsheet or the scorecards. I add them to my website, juancarlosmonsalve.com. You can access those scorecards. You want to review them again, you can. What I do, I print them in a PDF form. Here you see it says 10 pages, and this is the way that you will see it there in the website. Say print. Let me make sure I have legal size. Um, it looks like I have everything there. So this is the way that you will see it there in my website. And I already have the other scorecards there. You can review them. You can go over the scorecards, and you can print them. You can view them. It's free. That information is free. So I printed in the PDF form. So this is all. I will see you on the on the next video. Please um, don't forget you can access also the scorecards in my website, juancarlosmonsalve.com. You can support my channel by going to buymeacoffee.com /Juan Carlos Monsalve. And please don't forget to give a thumbs up to this video, subscribe to my channel, ring the bell so you get notified every time that I upload a new video, share the video with others, um, and um, and observe. I've observed what it happens when I'm entering information on while I'm playing. You will see things that probably other people won't be able to see. We are all different. So thank you for watching this video. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one.